Contract Administration Board meeting for May 19, 2025 at 2 o'clock p.m. In attendance is Deputy County Executive Mike McLaughlin, the Honorable Joanne Cunningham, Chairwoman of the Albany County Legislature, and Bruce Hidley, Albany County Clerk. First on the agenda will be to approve the minutes from April 18th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. So first on the agenda will be contract number 2942-25. The department is Sheriff's Department. The vendor is Readiness Network, Inc. The estimated amount is $50,000. The estimated term is 4/15/25 to 4/14/26. Scope of services, leadership and human performance, e-learning modules for all personnel within the Albany County Sheriff's Department, 100% county funded. Any further information we need to know?
I'll jump in here and make it easy for you because I was the one who requested the table. Motion to move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried.
And thank you, Tina, for answering those questions.
Yes, thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract number 2978-25. It's the Sheriff's Department. The vendor is Federal Resources Supply Company. The estimated amount is $57,457.18. The estimated term is 5/1/25 through 4/30/26. The scope of service, handheld X-ray device that quickly scans vehicles, packages, and more to help locate narcotics, weapons, and other dangerous contraband. This will be used by the Sheriff's Scope Unit, and it's 100% state funded.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Any other questions?
Did Batman invent it? It sounds kind of crazy. Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Okay, next on the agenda is contract 0358-25. It's for the Albany County Hall of Records. The vendor is ICC Community Development Solutions, Inc. It is for the annual licensing and support for Laserfiche Real digital management, records management software. It's for 5/18/25 through 5/17/26. And the amount is $29,843.36. I'm going to ask the department to please give me the fiscal impact for this program.
When you say fiscal impact, do you mean 100% county funded? Yes, 100% county funded.
Can you just say that a little louder?
100% county funded.
Thank you.
Anything else to add?
This is our annual contract with ICC. They manage our software for digital records for both the county and for the municipalities, as well as the city. So this is licenses for users and software updates, support, things like that.
No, just a quick kind of global question. How much of the county's records are in digital form versus not?
I would say we are probably at the point where we're maybe 5% to 10% digitized. We prioritize things that are requested by the public, and we prioritize things that are damaged that we try to leave wrapped up as much as we possibly can. But we have a long way to go if we want to get.
But that's the goal?
The goal is to be 100% absolutely. But we're working through it as quickly as we can and prioritizing things by retention codes and things like that as well.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
Second.
Yes. Anybody did the motion? Or should we
Oh.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Next on the agenda is 316-25. Department is maintenance, and it's KMEL DBA Keystone Precision Solutions. The purchase of surveying equipment and software. It's 4/1/25 to 5/1/25, and the estimated amount is $76,701. I ask the department to please give us a fiscal impact.
So this is 100% county funded with an encumbrance from last year's specialty equipment line.
Questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Carried. You'll notice on the agenda that we have contract number 342-25. This is being removed from the agenda. So next will be contract number 409-25.
Wait, can we, understand better where we are in the ARPA CMA?
So what it was, this was entered in error. This extension itself was actually passed by resolution 786 in December of 2024.
Okay,
So this was just a duplicative,
okay.
We're- so
And
we're-
so that contract goes.
covers us through the end of 2025.
Got it, okay, thank you.
Yep. Sorry about the confusion.
So 409-25, Parks and Recreation, Crown Castle International is the vendor. The county desires to obtain services in connection with the 2 strands of dark fiber between 22 through 40 Remsen Street, Cohoes, New York, at the formerly known as the Gateway Sports Complex and 112 State Street, where Albany County's data center is located for the purposes of creating a private network between both sites. And it's 8/125 through 7/31 of 30, and the estimated amount is $59,700.
Hey, good afternoon, CAB members. This is Pat Alderson from Information Services. So this is a 5-year contract for an internet circuit and dark fiber between the Cohoes Gateway Sports Complex and 112 State Street. It's in an amount not to exceed $59,700. And again, it's for dark fiber between the 2 sites.
Fiscal impact, please.
It's 100% county funded.
Question?
Question? So, this is the new sports complex in Cohoes. So, this just enables them to kind of connect to the county's
Network.
network.
Yep, so it'll provide internet services. Internet services are necessary for both door access controls at the site, being able to record video footage at the site for any cameras that are placed there. It will also allow connectivity for calling. So we have voice over IP, which is, we essentially make phone calls through the internet, and it will allow the new site to gain access to any of the county's network resources. So our time and attendance application, our file servers, and pretty much anything that they need at Albany County, from the Albany County network.
So are we gonna have staff up there that will be on the email system?
Yeah, any of the staff would have access to, any of the staff that are located there would have access to the county's email system. Any of the Microsoft licensing and tools that we provide employees. The site is being set up as a mobile site, so regardless of where those employees go, they would be able to access any of those county tools.
Yeah, and now that the Department of Recreation is expanded in terms of its locations, we're in the process of figuring out how to staff them correctly,
Right.
obviously, for not only for programmatic purposes, we're coming up on summer, so the lifeguard program is going to be really ramping up, and there's a pool there, but also from, an administrative perspective. So there will be the need for connectivity over there, for sure. And it probably will be full-time, at least somebody full-time, so.
Okay, thanks, motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Carried. Next on the agenda is 411-25, Information Services, First Light Fiber. The county desires to obtain services in connection with the session initiation protocol, trunk installation, and 20 concurrent talk paths at Family Court, which is located at 30 Clinton Avenue, Albany, New York, as part of the Voice over Internet Protocol upgrade project to enable employees to use their internet connection for phone calls 7/125 through 6/30 of 2030, and the estimated amount is $28,800. I need the department head to give me the status on the funding.
So this is a contract for a 5-year term, $28,800 and 100% county funded.
Thank you.
Purchased off of OGS contract.
No?
No. Motion.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion's carried. 15-25, Information Services, First Light Fiber. The county desires to obtain service in connection with 2 strands of dark fiber between 996 Madison Avenue, Albany, New York, at the former site of the Hearst Building, that's the College of St. Rose, and 112 State Street, where Albany County's data center is located for the purpose of creating a private network between the sites, and it's 8/1/25 through 7/31/30. The estimated amount is $33,980, and we need to know what the fiscal impact will be.
So this is, again, a 100% county-funded project. It was, this is to create connectivity for the county campus that's built on the old St. Rose campus, south of Madison Avenue. This project, or this building, 996 Madison Avenue, was included as part of the county's license agreement with the Pine Hills Land Authority, which passed at the May meeting of the Pine Hills Land Authority.
All right, I have a few questions. Okay, so this is to help kind of connect the county to the St. Rose County staffing that
Mhm.
is at St. Rose. So there's undoubtedly gonna be additional county staff departments that are headed to St. Rose in the immediate and long-term future. So is the investment here going to have to be replicated as new departments move to different buildings? Or is this a down payment on that? How does that work?
So, this is a very good question. So similar to last month, where we requested approval to create a pair of dark fiber between the Events and Athletics Center at the College of St. Rose and 112 State Street to kind of function as the hub for that side of the campus. We're doing a similar model, but on the, I guess, south end of the St. Rose campus, so any of the buildings south and around Madison Avenue. This will essentially create the hub point, which we will spoke out from to other buildings surrounding that Hearst building. So would it be potentially the site that was formerly called the St. Rose Administration Building, the St. Rose College of Business Building, any of those sites that the county may occupy at some point in time, they will be a spoke off of this site. So we will either capitalize on existing fiber between those sites, or if some of that fiber is old, some of it is fairly old, we will need to run new fiber between the sites, but that would be a one-time cost. This is a cost for services. So essentially, it will provide an internet connection from 112 State Street that will go to that side of the campus and allow connectivity at minimally the Hearst building, the administration building, and the Huther building. I believe those are the 3 sites that have been added to the county's license agreement.
So with the north side already done, and now this being the south side, that should complete this project completely, so you wouldn't need to come back for something like this again?
It wouldn't be with a fiber provider. The only time I would need to come back to CAB is if we need to run in-house fiber between sites. So that's literally from one building to another building to connect those 2 buildings if we cannot capitalize on the existing fiber that's already
Okay.
there.
Okay, my other question, maybe this is more for Dave Riley, but, so first of all, for this one, is this budgeted in the sense that this is covered by that, I think it was like 6 million that the
Mhm.
legislature, so is this out of that tranche?
No, the 6 million is for authority to do their stuff.
Okay.
And all that, that's,
Separate.
on that front, as the county takes direct, I guess, site control over specific buildings through leases, then that opens them up to actual county on budget funding or on capital plan funding
Okay,
for county structures.
so where does this come from? Because this was not budgeted in 2020. 25?
Where it's coming from information services budget. It's no different than how we treat any of the other sites that we have dark fiber to. We kind of pay for it and then include it in a chargeback to all departments to kind of come up with the best kind of funding allocation for these projects possible. Some departments get state and federal reimbursement. This is kind of like an internal service chargeback.
Infrastructure cost.
Yeah,
And
it's
is
just,
that the same for the Cohoes Sports Complex?
yeah,
So
it's
that
coming
is
from my,
not like
it's
an
coming from
unbudgeted
information.
expense,
Correct.
that's part of some,
Yeah, and we,
And with both of these projects, we knew they were coming as we were putting the budget, we just didn't know.
okay.
Especially for those,
yeah,
that's right.
these are not capital costs per se, they're services costs, so it's on a month-to-month basis. Over the year for this site, we would only be paying just under $6,800, and it's cancelable, it's cancelable at any point in time because it's purchased off of New York State contract, so if something were to happen, the county decided to terminate the license agreement with the Pine Hills Land Authority and move buildings, we wouldn't be on the hook for the remainder of the cost. The same is true for Cohoes, and the same is true for the EAC site as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? Abstention, motion's carried.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Okay, I've just been informed that we need to go back to contract number 316-25, which was approved for $76,701 by the three of us. Somebody want to help me?
So real quick, yeah, we're converting to an electronic system related to contracts. It appears that there was a bit of a transcription error. Thank you, Commissioner, for catching it. So it sounds like there needs to be a change to the final amount that we voted on.
So it doubled the amount. So the good news is we're not spending 76,000, we're spending 38,350. So there was a glitch in the way the system took that number and added it to the agenda.
Okay, so it's half that amount.
It's half that
And how
amount.
much was that again?
It is
$38,350.
$38,350.50.
All right.
Seems like it was double the cost.
Looking back on it, we should have known that right from the beginning.
So I'd like to entertain a motion for the amendment to that contract so that it would read $38,350.50.
Correct.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Carried, and thank you for saving the county $38,000.
All in a day's work.
Next on the agenda is contract number 359-25, the Shaker Place Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. Safeguard Safety Shoe Company. The county desires to obtain services in connection with the purchase of safety shoes for the workers covered by the 1199 collective bargaining agreement. And the term is 6/125 through 5/31/26. The estimated amount is $36,000, and we'll need to know exactly where that funding is coming from.
It's 100% county funded, it's in the current budget as part of the union contract. Basically with this, for many years, the nursing home has given our staff $160 per year through the collective bargaining contracts to purchase uniforms. I realized that we give our staff uniforms, they're not purchasing any uniforms, so I thought it made more sense for our staff to spend that money on safety shoes to prevent slips, trips, and falls. That was agreed upon in the contract for this year, and that $36,000 will cover the cost for 1 year.
Are they steel-toed?
They will be for the maintenance staff. Most of the staff, nursing and others, will not be steel-toe shoes, but they have a safety sole on the bottom.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is contract 2958-25, Department of Sewage Treatment. The vendor is WSG and Solutions, Inc. The estimated amount is $70,000. The estimated term is 5/125 through 4/30/26. The scope of service, the purchase and supply of grit buckets and stirring flights to be used at the north and south plants for the grit removal system, and it's 100% county funded.
Yes, 100% county funded, so no further comments unless there's any questions.
So grit buckets are carrying grit?
Yeah, so we have a grit removal system, as part of our, one of our initial treatment steps. So we do initial screening, followed by grit removal. So basically, there's what's called the chain and flight system, so that basically runs continuously. And those buckets actually take that grit material and pull it out of the wastewater stream and then, deposit that into a conveyor belt that gets moved to a dumpster and then ultimately to Albany landfill.
Exactly what is grit?
Grit is sand, like any road debris that would come in, like asphalt. It gets flushed in through the sewer systems and gets deposited at our facility. So we try to get rid of that material because it's abrasive to equipment like pumps. So the more that we get out, we increase the longevity of downstream equipment.
And is the grit like tested for PFAS and bad things?
The grit isn't, because we're disposing of that at the landfill. We do test our ash periodically, so that has to go through a different process because there's a beneficial use determination through DEC for that.
But not grit, that just goes right
Yeah,
to the.
yeah, so like screenings and grit don't generally get tested, so basically any large material
Okay.
just get brought up.
What screenings, just trash?
Trash, like rags, like any bottles, like any type of plastic, any large debris. So we basically, the first step is, you have a 1-inch opening R screen, so anything larger than that usually gets captured up through that process. And then again, the heavier sediments, which would be grit, kind of gravity settle out into this tank and get removed through this collection system. So, and because it is abrasive, we have to replace those chains and those buckets periodically just because they wear down the metal.
Makes sense. Entertain a motion?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstention? Carried. Next on the agenda is sewage treatment. Kester Associates, Inc. purchases a supply of Vogelsang pump parts, 6/125 to 5/31/26. Estimated amount is $50,000. And once again, we'll need to know where the funding is coming.
Yep, this is 100% county funded. Vogelsang is actually our sludge pump, so it's a manufacturer of pumps, and then Kester has the authorization to sell their parts. So it is a sole source bid.
Motion?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion's carried. Once again, the sewage treatment. Am I saying this Seward?
Yep, Seward.
Seward Equipment. It's to rebuild an existing plant water pump at the north plant and purchase a new pump impeller. The estimated term is 6/125 to 8/31/25, and the amount of $36,500. And once again, we'll need to know the funding.
Yep, so this is 100% county funded as well.
Questions?
What is an impeller?
Uh,
I know what a propeller is.
Yeah, impeller is basically the working side of the pump, so basically that's the device that actually moves the water
All right.
inside. So there's basically a rotating assembly with shaft and with essentially, it's
Big
effectively
fan.
like a prop, but they call it impeller because it's in a pump.
It's going the opposite way for propeller.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Okay, motion.
Yep.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Sewage treatment again, contract 37-25, H2M Architects and Engineers. Engineering services provided to design the replacement valves of the District South Plant influent pump station. Term is 6/125 to 5/31/25. That must be a mistake.
Yeah, it's gonna be 26, sorry for the.
So it's 5/31/26.
26, yeah.
The estimated amount is $65,000.
And this is 100% county funded as well. So H2M Architects was basically a firm that we had pre-selected under an RFQ process that we had conducted in 2024. So we basically elected to have them do the design work for the valve replacements at our South Plant influent pump station.
Questions?
No, but I am going to, while we have an audience with you, kind of ask for just a 2-sentence update on that system replacement that DEC just approved that will
Yep.
mitigate the odors at the North Plant? Or
Yeah,
will-
so, yeah, again, that's part of our sludge processing improvement capital project, so we are under, design right now.
Okay.
We've started design for that mixing system,
And then we are moving forward with that pilot system for that chemical addition to help mitigate those odors as well. So that's underway as well. Again, hopefully we can get that kind of installed in a couple weeks.
And will any of that project come to CAB or back, or is that already approved through the?
The final construction will go back through an RLA process, so the engineering services has already been approved through the legislature. But so we're in design now, we expect to bid that work out at some point, the back end of '26. And then that will go forward, depending on the contract and the dollar value, but that's gonna be a legislative, we're in the millions of dollars for that.
Will come to CAB.
That's
Right.
yeah.
But not
It's
until
gonna be over 250 then.
26.
Oh, yeah, we're talking, yeah, multi-millions, like we're probably $50 million
Okay.
projects.
Thank you.
Real
Motion?
quick, to piggyback off of the chairwoman, the stopgap measures, when will those be fully implemented?
I'm waiting for a schedule, so I hope to have the schedule actually by tomorrow. We think we probably need 3 more weeks before that actually gets installed. There's a little bit of a delay in terms of negotiating some of the contracts issues, but so that's going forward though. So I would think by mid-June we should.
But we can say like within the month.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Entertain a motion.
Second?
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention carried. Next on the agenda is contract 270-25, Department of Social Services. It's HATAS is the vendor. Provision of a HATAS employee to work on-site at the Department of Social Services to support and track efforts to assist households experiencing homelessness, particularly those placed in emergency shelters. The term is 5/1/25 through 10/31 of '25. The estimated amount is $35,450. We gonna need anybody here?
Yes,
Oh,
100% local funded, county funded. It's in the DSS budget. Hattis is the shelter agency in town that handles after-hours placements. And so that's why we, this whole, all started when they had somebody at DSS from Hattis during Code Blue hours, those months. And after last year, really having a very clear roles and responsibilities and clear communication, it's really improved and streamlined services for our clients. So
Is
it's
this
the non-Code Blue months.
So Hattis specializes in just this type of work then?
Yeah, so Addis is Homeless and Travelers Aid Society.
Okay, thank you, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, I should have
they've
given
been a partner of the county for a long time. It sounds like this is just really furtherance of an integration that's already happened. We've been working with them for years. Liz Hitt is Liz still in charge?
Yes. Mhm.
Is the executive director over there. They're very good people.
Okay, thank you, I didn't know what Hattis stood for.
Sorry, I should have spelled it out for you.
The alphabet world we live in.
It's not chicken.
It's not chicken.
Thank you, Joanne.
That would be nice.
Any, entertain a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 2963-25. Department is Building Services. The vendor is J. McBain, Inc. The estimated amount is $99,000. The estimated term is 6/1/25 through 5/31 of '26. And the scope of services is secondary emergency electrical repair services. And the fiscal impact is 100% to the county.
Yes, this is a renewal for the trade labor agreements we have out there. We do heating, cooling, electrical, plumbing. This is the secondary contractor. Alcor is the primary contractor. It's not to exceed $99,000 in this contract for emergency services.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstention? Motion is carried. And the final item on the agenda is contract number 2980-25, and it's the County Executive's Office. The vendor is Pioneer Production Services LLC. The estimated amount is $29,300. The estimated term is 5/19/25 through 5/19/26. And the scope of service, production and distribution of a mini educational documentation profile of Albany County to be shared nationwide on public broadcasting and other networks, and it's 100% county funded.
Yeah, I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Kind of
So-
self-explanatory.
I have a couple questions. So first, what is the CAB requirement related to deadlines for something to be considered at CAB?
It certainly is before we're able to get it to you. We, because the deadline to get them the paperwork is, when is it, Kevin? I think it might be later today or tomorrow morning.
We need to get some
Um,
ASAP.
That's the reason for the accelerated timeline, Joe.
Okay, but we don't have a current, like, it's gotta be in by, you know, whatever. I
There
mean, we
is,
have
no,
that.
there is.
There is.
There is.
But
There
there's
was-
no emergency provision? or
No,
it's just-
It comes later.
yeah, it's typically
That's
like,
being
kind of like,
realized then.
yeah, it's kind of like we do with the ledge, if, hey, can you guys get this in? And if
So
you're
it's just a
able to.
courtesy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I believe for our June meeting, the deadline is May 26th.
Yes.
27th because
it's the holiday.
Okay, so, okay, so it's not typical, I just wondered,
No.
especially as we move to the new,
No, it's definitely not typical. This is very typical, no question. Yeah, yeah.
okay. No, this sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the numbers alone are kind of staggering, and I know that the county's dabbled. I know the IDA a few years ago did some video stuff, but the idea of having exposure to 60 million households, you know, getting exposure on pretty much every major network from a commercial perspective, and then having a more in-depth 5 to 6 minute educational video about the area. You know, I think it's, given where the county is placed currently related to what I'll term as redevelopment, and maybe regional branding, for the county at large, and certainly the city of Albany. I think this is a fantastic opportunity. Kevin, I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, you hit all the major points, yeah.
But we're excited about the opportunity. Obviously, it's also kind of exciting to partner with a entertainment professional that has some name recognition. That's certainly appealing as well. But just the idea of being able to get some showcase of our region to that many people, that many households, it's actually a little overwhelming to contemplate. So.
So, I mean, there's like the questionnaire and all these, you know, collateral materials to aid the storyline, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But how do we, influence, you know, making sure that it's something that is focused on all the right things?
I was gonna say.
And not how there's nothing to do in Albany County or something?
No.
There
No.
is the final part of it provides that Albany County has sign off before any distribution. So
Yeah.
while they have production editing authority as it relates to, as it relates to the theme and what's permissible under PBS and for the documentary, Albany County has final sign off on actually what gets distributed.
And we did stipulate that Rebecca Lobo can't be involved in the production of the video.
And then the other question is, what's all this language about some alternative location shoot that's in South Florida? Like,
I think that there's big.
So the amount that was asked for actually included the 3,900, so that it would be shot here in Albany, meaning that their base is in Florida. If you wanna hear the production cost for them to come here is 3,900, which was included in the 25, which ended up being 29.3, I think. So the 29.3 is inclusive of that, because if you're showcasing Albany County, you certainly want them here to be
Right.
Albany County. So that was, that 3,900 or 3,400 was included actually in the CAB submission.
So the end product is coming out of Florida.
Well, the production aspect, it will be shot here, filmed here and all that, and then I think their production studios and the editing and all of that stuff is done.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's gonna have to go and check that out.
motion?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Now I'd like to entertain a motion to close the contract
Second?
at 2:35 PM. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Carried, and thank you very much.
Thank you.